saw, I was managing a restaurant in Lafayette, California. And it was part of a chain of steakhouses that wanted to send me to Pittsburgh. They liked me. They liked my management style. And I came down here for a Greek Easter celebration. Now, Easter to the Greeks is a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. And thousands of us would congregate at the Pomona Fairgrounds and have a Greek Easter picnic. So my wife Dawn and I came down for that particular, event, and we're going to spend the weekend. In the meantime, I've got this offer to go to Pittsburgh, and I'm working for this company that likes me. And, I'm progressing, so to speak. But I come down and I go to Greek Easter picnic, and I look around during that picnic after having some wine and eating some barbecued lamb and feeling good about myself. I looked around and I said, they don't have anywhere to go except for this one day a year, to have this family feeling here, to have this great celebration. And of course, everyone knows that the Taverna was a celebration every night. That's when I got the idea for it. And I took my wife aside. I said, look at it. That's it. Not a steakhouse. I don't want to stay with that chain. I said, we're going to come down here and open Papadakis Taverna. We're going to knock them all out with the love we have to share. We'd gone to Greece on honeymoon. We really loved it. And it was affecting going to see the family in the village, the ones that were left behind, and see their poverty, but also their dignity. And their, the way they stood up straight when they walked. They had a lot of identity and a lot of spiritual values, which I envied. And I wanted to emulate that. And I wanted to bring it to, my hometown, San Pedro, that my grandfather had parked himself in 70 years earlier, so to speak. In a building which he bought after the First World War, which my father happened to have open for rent because he had just kicked somebody out, and the Yacht Cafe, and it was empty. So we opened this restaurant that had 1,500 square feet, right on the corner. Next door was a bar. We shared the restrooms. That was a comedy, because the bar was a front for a bordello, which was in the back, which I eventually developed into private dining rooms. Some say I could have made more money the other way, but I would rather serve food. Well, the first year was a total inspiration. My wife and I did all the cooking. We were busy 24/7. We lived in an apartment, two-story apartment right off the corner of 13th and Patton. And it had stairs that went up, and then a little landing, and then you continued to the second level. A couple nights we fell asleep on the landing. That's how tired we were. We would pray and say, Lord, please don't send so many people tomorrow because we can't cook that much food. And there were evenings when I ran out of food. And I would just buy the people wine and cut up fruit and cheese and just give it to them and dance and sing and tell them I'm sorry, we're learning. And they were very forgiving, and then they'd come back. And then we'd satisfy the heck out of them. We cooked all the food. And I had the help of my brother Tom and a cousin Pete, a cousin Steve, and we had a ball. Joey Ruzich, we grew up together in Airville Park, and I just loved Joey, and he came down to help me too. So everyone was helping for the same purpose and to give to the place. And when you have a core of workers that all have something good to offer, it's really apparent in the atmosphere of the restaurant. When you walk into the Horn of Plenty, you know it. You've come home. As a matter of fact, that's what I used to tell people when they came. I'd say, welcome home. After their first visit, the second visit, welcome home. And that's how they felt, and that's how I felt about them, because that was my sense of purpose. My parents, I used to see how they would treat their guests in their house. And that's how the restaurant was. It didn't discriminate. So it was really amazing to me when I saw movie stars start walking in to the restaurant. The appeal of the restaurant had reached people to such a degree where everyone wanted to try it. And since we treated everyone the same, it created an atmosphere that was safe for those important people to come in. I served presidents. I served governors. I served senators. I served representatives, mayors, every meaningful mayor on the West Coast came in. Heads of state. I took Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner to the boat the night before she drowned. I used to take them to the boat all the time. The first time they came in, they said, get us a taxi. Where do you want to go? 22nd Street Landing. I said, it's just a couple minutes away. Let me take you. They said, sure. And I'd take them over there, and that's how it was with many of them. You know, when you're there for them, with the sole purpose of serving them and trying to serve them well, they get it. And it becomes a real simple, good exchange, not something layered. The evolution of the entertainment at the Taverna was, it began with us dancing, you know. I had to do that Hasapico dance, and I loved doing it. And I wanted to master it, and I wanted to be great at it. And fortunately, I had some, you know, Greek waiters who knew the dance well, and what I didn't know, they shared with me, and then we would invent steps, athletic things that we could do, leg kicks and, you know, splits and things, and just hitting the floor quickly and rising quickly and keeping it in that dramatic cadence of that beat. And it was very effective. And from that, you know, we evolved to having a belly dancer as well, and a tap dancer. I saw a tap dancer out on the street here in San Pedro one day. I said, you're good, why don't you come by my restaurant tonight? Since he was kind of a street guy, I fed him, came all dressed up, like it was Christmas, you know, which was great. And then I put on some tap dancing music, very versatile with the music in the restaurant. I loved it. And I played all different kinds of music, mainly Greek music during the dinner hour. But before and after, we'd go after different, you know, feelings and things. Anyway, the tap dancer was great. And I've always loved hearing a violinist at dinner. So I'd have a violinist tucked away. And he was something. He had played with Ella Fitzgerald. Tony Doria was his name. Man has passed now. But he was a special guy. And he could play the heck out of those standards, you know, or play Love in the Afternoon. And oh, he drove people crazy. I mean, I had the kitchen sink theory of entertainment. There'd be Greek dancing, belly dancing, tap dancing, violinists playing in their ear. It was so stimulating for everyone and so rewarding. And for me too, because I loved it. Primarily, you have to love what you're doing. And then it's contagious.